and we're gonna talk about her amazing hair company, KG Hair Company. So sis, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit more about your brand and yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Kiana. Most people know me as Shelly, as she introduced me. So I'm the owner of KG Hair Co. And what I do is I sell raw Indian hair.
Girl, let's get into it.
So yeah, basically this is the hair in its natural state. So the wavy hair, like in India, basically the women have only two textures. There's straight or wavy. Basically to get the hair as it comes there's no processing to the hair. So women go to the temples and they cut their hair off and they donate it. And so you have like the distributors or like people who collect the hair, they cut the hair for them and they then sell it to me. So it's like a raw material.
So real natural, all authentic.
Yeah, like
straight.
there's
you can even even the what?
So yeah, like what most people know it for is like it's like natural, like color. There's no processing done, as I said. The processing that is done is basically just a wash and condition. Mm-hmm. And they would take the hair, which is like loose, and they put it on a thread. And so it's a track yeah.
And basically you were saying earlier that you can either do installation like anytime, either a sew-in or you were speaking about clips as well, right?
Yeah, you can there's so many things you can do with the hair. So like you can do sew-ins, which is where someone would braid down your hair and then they braid down your hair and then sew on the tracks to your head. There's also like you can make wigs, you can do clip-ins, you can do micro links, like anything that you imagine that can be done to your hair, you can do it with this hair.
It's amazing. That's really dope. And I like that you, first of all, working with distributors, that you know exactly where it's coming from. Your product is no joke. You're rocking it yourself.
Yes.
So in your experience, I know your page is really dope. You basically cater to any type of hair type. So how are you able to address people that have maybe my hair type in comparison to yours, still being able to use the same product?
You would walk into a salon and, they do your hair, but, at the end, if you're wearing your hair straight, you would flat iron it, or, if your hair's naturally straight, super straight, then it'll blend perfectly. The hair can be curled, it can be dyed, it can be bleached, a lot of the times, some women find it easier if their hair is a little bit of a like curlier texture. They want to use a frontal or closure, which is what we have here.
So now that we know all about the product and this amazing hair that you have to offer, how can we access it? How can we start, buying everything off of you?
Yeah. So basically, I'm on Instagram, and on Instagram you can see the product and you can see what other people do with the product, because I tell you, like, there's no better feeling than like seeing someone do something totally different with what you're selling, So like, you can find me on Instagram at KG Hair Co.
Your at will be below, guys, so you can follow her, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and on KG Hair Co, I have my personal telephone number. You can text me, you can call me, you can DM me, you can email me. However it is easy for you to get in contact with me, it is all there.
Perfect.
I unfortunately don't have a website right now, but it will be up soon.
Perfect.
And yeah, so that's basically it. That's how to contact me.
That's dope. So now that we know that you are, super accessible, getting it started, and you're in the works of making your brand even more expanded when it comes to your website and stuff like that, let's talk about how you got started and why. So first and foremost, when was your launch? When did we officially do this?
So officially, KG Hair Co started January 1st. I was like, you know what? I want to say it was like a year before I actually was like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. So it started one time, like for a very long time I've had really good hair, mm-hmm. and I never had a problem. And then I got into the chair of someone and she's like, oh, you should buy from here. So I'm like, okay, good, she does hair. I'm gonna trust her word. Mm-hmm. So I buy this hair, I spend I think $189, and I put the hair in and the hair was fine. So a few days passed and like could not run my hair.
Brush
Like I was
nothing.
stuck. Like my hair was stuck. So I was like, you know, after paying $189 or somewhere around there, like I also paid someone to do it, and they were not cheap. Like it was like maybe another $200.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, this is not it. Like, and so I'm like, you know what, maybe I can find a product that I can, like, I know what's good hair. Like, I know that this isn't it. So, you know, I want to find a product that I can sell, and, you know, I'm always into making more money. Like, however, like, I work, I do this, I multiple jobs while we were in school. Like, so I'm like, you know what? What's another stream of income? But it's not just about the money. It's about also giving a good product and like making sure that what you have is good. So like, I was like, you know what? Like, there's people out there who are really like me, a victim buying bad hair, and so I did a lot of research about like what's the best hair out there, and like I've come to find that India is actually like where most hair comes from originally. So basically, like as I was saying earlier, women go to the temple, but there's also the bad side to it, and this is how people get really bad hair, is that they'll go, let's say it's a manufacturer who doesn't have like access to a donor. So they'll go to the temple and they'll collect the hair that fell.
Oh, and then they try to put it on and sell it for bundles.
They will, and this is where the processed part comes in. So they will coat it in like silicone, and they coat it with like acid, and it'll make, yes,
girl,
and it will make it look as though like the hair is beautiful. Like the first time you open it, you'll see like the hair is so beautiful, and you're convinced that it's nice, and then like after a wash or two,
same thing that
you
happens
have hair from a drain, or you know. So I was like, you know what, this is like, it's crazy, because you know, like, you don't want to waste your money. Money, time and money, you don't want to waste, you know? So I was like, let me bring something to the world
And that's why your brand is the way it is, because you did your research. You made sure you knew
months.
everything about
like,
it.
And
That's
then
the biggest
on
part.
top of, you know, finding good hair, I had to know that it was good. Like, I can't just go off of your word. I have to try it out myself. So what I did was, I wore the hair for a couple of months. I washed it. I did what I had to do. Like, washed it, dyed it, tried to like bleach it, whatever, just to like try all the hair. You test the hair like before you put it on your head. And so I went a couple of months, which is why it took me about a year to start KG Hair Co. Like, I wanted to find the perfect product, basically.
Of course, but you know what? That's with any business that you start. Realistically speaking, it takes a pretty good time period. Normally, it's like your first 2 to 3 years of just trial and error, trying to map out the brand, trying to figure it out. And plus, you knew what you wanted to offer because it came from a personal need.
Yeah.
So you were not playing no games when it came to your brand.
Exactly. And I never wore bad hair, so I was like, it was like a shock to me. Like, wow, these people are really like
out here.
It was to the point that someone recommended it to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, you know, this is it.
Yeah, that's tough. And especially when it's your need. Like, the last thing that you want is for somebody else to feel the way you felt when somebody recommended you a product.
Yeah.
It's your name on it, you're putting it forward. I must say, I'm very surprised at how diverse the hair is. Even on your page, you have one of your clients has red hair, and the way it dyed. I was like, girl, what?
Yeah. And they often tell me like the dyeing process is super easy, like the hair, because the hair is virgin, and that's what. So like, there's raw and there's virgin hair. So like, all hair is virgin if it comes from a person who hasn't done anything to their hair, right? But raw is like it's never been touched, it's never been processed, there's nothing done to the hair. It comes right off the person, and then it's to you, like, you know. So when it's raw, it can be dyed easily. Just like if you grew out your hair from a child, your hair, the first time dyeing your hair, it's coming out perfect.
Yeah, it's gonna stay in a whole lot.
So that's what raw Indian hair is essentially. So it's
That's what's up. So since you officially launched your brand on January 1st, literally not even a month later, well, 2 months later, I would say, we went into COVID, which I know probably kind of threw you for a loop like any other entrepreneur. How did you kind of manage some of the bumps in the road through that, especially at the start of your business?
So, I started in January, and by like February, I was shocked because I was like, wow, like, it's only been a month and a half, 2 months, and like I have like 8 customers, and I'm like,
Yes,
I did not expect eight,
Yes,
like,
girl.
and you're like, it's only 8, but like, no, it's 8, like, and so, having like, I was like, you know, at the beginning, and I'm like surprising myself, and everything's going great, and then COVID happens. So, right before COVID though, I actually stocked up.
Good for you, that was smart.
It wasn't even a strategic thing. It was just, I just stocked up. I was a new business. I had all the hair. You know, I wanted to be prepared if people contact me. So I was like, you know what? So now COVID's happening, and it's something coming out of China. My product doesn't come out of China. But little did I know, like, COVID really had an impact on the whole entire world. So it also impacted India because now women are no longer going to temples
Because of everything.
because of everything happening. So the original vendor that I used, I no longer could use them. So I had to start the process again. I had to find a new vendor, and I found a new vendor eventually. But in those few months, like because I was stocked, I still had sales, and like people couldn't get hair from anywhere else. They just had, you know, they have to try the new person, which is me coming in. You know, they have to try the person who is available.
As an entrepreneur, I feel like the biggest thing that makes you successful in whatever business that you do is adaptability.
Yeah.
And like the fact that you were capable in the start of your business, that is not easy at all. Is there ever been a time where you, I mean, of course it's a fresh brand, and you've had to already rebuild your brand at least once. So has there ever been a time where you were like, oh shit, this is not it right now, I am stressed out, I don't know what to do, but you've persevered through that?
Yeah, there's been a couple of times because, you know, this is my own money going in, and I'm not rich. I don't have investors, you know, so.
And that, I don't mean to cut you off, but that's one thing that so many people don't realize. Like, you go broke when you start a business. You can be up, but it's your name, every dollar, every time, anything you have, you put right into it. But continue, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So as I was saying, like, it was my own money, and so the money that I had for the business was locked up into the product. So there was times where, let's say, like a month would go by and I didn't have a hair sale. And I'm like, well, I have thousands of dollars worth of inventory, but I don't have anyone to sell it to. There's no one asking for it. There's no one. And then, you know, I came to the thought, like, I need to put more time into my brand. Like, I need to put, like, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
And I realized that, you know, my jobs, me having multiple jobs was just kind of getting in the way of that. And so what I did was I let go of one job. I told them, like, you know, you can keep me on schedule. It was a waitressing job, so told them, keep me on schedule. It's cool. Like, lower my days. Like, I need maybe 1 or 2 instead of 5. And so now it has me, like, working a little bit more. I'm not saying that I'm, like, working on my brand all day, because I'm not. Life is life. I still have to make a living. I still have to, you know. But it's giving me the opportunity to, like, put more time into my brand.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that people don't see as an entrepreneur. Like, when you start, especially when you're self-made, self-paid, to a T like you are, sis, like, when you start off, you are still in school. You are still working. You have to have cash flow to come in order to supply any type of product. Point blank.
Absolutely.
Period. Like, so being able to manage your time well, and then making the decision to let go of one of your lines of income to put full force into this, like, that is an income producing activity. Even though, like you said, like, sometimes for a month goes by and you don't make a sale, now you have to adapt as an entrepreneur, and you're pushing forward, and you're like, okay, now let's fix marketing, let's draw more traction, you know, just things like that. And that's stuff that you learn by just doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes it takes failures. Like, I fail. You already know Coco and fails. Like, I'm not shy about that. Like, you know what I mean? And it takes those things to learn how to, you know, be better and to go stronger. And I'm so proud of you. Off of just starting off, girl.
Thank you.
That's insane.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. That's insane. That's really, really dope. So, now that we talked about your brand, we talked about the business, we talked about all the things that you're going through, we're sitting here on this platform and there's somebody watching this that is so inspired by what you're saying. Probably thinking about, damn, like I want to get started with my 2 jobs on the side too. Like, I want to do my own thing. So even though you are a walking billboard for your brand and your testament to everything that you do.
Absolutely, I stand behind it.
Absolutely. Is there any piece of advice that you would give to somebody that's looking at you ready to go?
So, what I would say is just basically like get into it, like just do it, because you know you're waiting and the waiting and the waiting, and you know then you'll look back and it's like if I started this a year ago, I might be way more successful than I am now. Or if I started this 2 years ago, and like me personally, like I've been wearing bundled hair for years, and I'm like, I never had the idea of like, why can't I make money like they are? Like, why can't I be the person that they're paying, you know? So my advice is literally like, get into it, put as much effort, time as you can, you know, without it being detrimental to your life. But just start today, start today.
Facts, I love it. Why? If anybody else can have ownership and equity, why not us? Right?
Why not?
Thank you for joining us today, Shelly. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And we will catch you guys next time on Coffee with Coco.